start us off with an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, exciting baseball game, finishing at 2 a.m. Congratulations to BC. They did a great job, getting after we had the momentum there early on. Rory looked like he was pretty dominant. They were able with 2 outs there to get a walk and get a base, no 2 hit, and then a 2-strike home run, which was really probably the biggest deciding factor in the game. And so, very, very proud of our group. Certainly think we've done enough. But we didn't execute great tonight. We had opportunities, obviously. 2 outs, nobody on in the second inning, to lead to a 3-spot there is tough. And then we had base running mistakes. We didn't drive a runner in from third, less than 2 outs late in the game. We couldn't get a bunt down, and so we just, we in the baseball game, we didn't execute a lot very well tonight.
Questions, guys?
Coach, in the 6th, Rory walks the batter. You guys have a mound meeting and you keep him in, and then he gets him to induce into that awesome double play.
Yeah.
What was said in that mound meeting from you and from him?
Well, really, Coach Volz went out and did the mound meeting, and that was that's all credit to Coach Volz. I was probably ready for Rory to be done at that time. And Coach Volz kind of hung in there with him and thought we still need to get about 3 more outs on him from where our bullpen was, and that actually proved true. And so I went out. I mean, his stuff was still really playing well, and he just happened to walk that guy, but he was able to get that double play, and that was a little bit of his former shortstop coming through. And he made a great play and got us out of the inning. I mean, Rory threw the ball terrific tonight and pitched out of several jams. Like we said, it's just that one, kind of flip on the screen, 2 outs, nobody on. And I'll see that. I'll watch that inning for a long time in my life. I'll replay that a long time.
You guys had a remarkable turnaround and played yourselves on the bubble, and now you guys kind of have to sweat it out a little bit. What are you telling the team as you kind of have to wait and see what happens?
Yeah, well, that's just it. We can't just sit here and say goodbye and hug it out right now, because we're going to go through about 6 grueling days here, it looks like. All you can do is I told him in tonight's game we got out executed, but over the last 6 weeks nobody outplayed us really in the country, and we didn't have the opportunities to the weekend coming in to line anything up to save anything. We had to ride hard. We had to ride everybody really, really hard because we knew kind of how our fate was and kind of where we had to get to, and we got there. And so that's why, you saw our rotation kind of a little bit mixed and matched here today because, we had to ride Jack so hard just to get us here the last 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't feel comfortable bringing him back on 5 days rest because he got a 6-day, 7-day, 6-day, now a 5-day. I just wasn't going to do that to a sophomore arm. And so Rory gave us a great start and he was more than capable, but we just got to, I think we did enough. You had 16 teams to this league. You certainly should be getting more teams into the postseason. This team's an 11 team bid, in my opinion.
How was Carson Tinney feeling after the collision at home plate?
Yeah, he seemed to be fine. And no one messes around with head injuries, right? Like that's the number one thing that if a trainer feels that you're shaky at all, he's going to get you. I think it was just more about like the collision and kind of Carson just kind of gathering himself. I think he knew that there was impact, and he wasn't 100% sure where the impact totally was, but he was feeling something around his head. So I think we wanted to make sure, and he bounced right back in there and played well. Got to work the walk and then threw a runner out.
You guys got kind of a perfect start, setting the tone early against Killers, so he settled in. But Parker Brustowicz has been fantastic and consistent all year. What's it like to see him come up big in that moment early with that ground rule double? Yeah,
I think we all felt, we love Parker in that 4-hole. He's kind of an RBI producer there, and I was really excited about our start, obviously to the day, and so I'm fine with the way we played, throughout. They did a great job matching up their pitchers, and so Yeah, momentum was certainly on our side. Like I said, I think if you play that game 9 more times, you know, Rory probably gets out of that inning unscathed, but it just didn't happen tonight.
Back to Rory, I know his last outing at Miami wasn't his greatest. How did you see him really bounce back today? And how has he done that all season?
Yeah, well, I mean, that one in Miami, you know, again, we didn't know how we were gonna be able to get our pitching lined up for the tournament here. Look, we were looking at a Tuesday game, right? And I just was not comfortable. Jack had thrown 105 pitches, I think, at Miami the night before. And you know, when Rory didn't look great, it was a little bit rough on that first inning in Miami. That's when we just decided, okay, we're gonna shut him down and regroup, because if you lose that game 8-4 and he throws 6 innings, I don't know who we would have pitched today, you know, and so we were able to do that. And Jack Riddell wanted the ball really, really bad, and he will probably stare a hole in the back of my head on the plane for the rest of, you know, but my job is to get these guys. I have to think about the next 40 years for them, not just necessarily the next 4 days, and so as bad as I wanted that game, I love Jack a lot more, and so that was not gonna happen. Thanks for Jack.
Guys, had anything else? One more.
Anything on the status of Bino Waters?
Yeah, I mean, Bino's got a lower leg injury that is basically a tolerance piece, and if it, you know, you know, you have to be careful, because if you don't let it completely go away, it can just keep flaring up, and so, you know, he put his spikes on there at the end, one of the pitch hit and stuff like that, but he hasn't seen live, he hasn't done that stuff, and you're just setting young people up to fail on emotion there, and so, but no, Bino, you know, I'm really, really hoping that if they give us an opportunity, and I believe that they should, I think we check a lot of boxes. You know, I hope he's available to at least DH or pitch it.
Coach, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.